Hello everybody! My name is Sarah and this is the art programme. Today we're going to announce the winner of the holiday photo competition. We asked you to send photographs of your holidays. The prize for the happiest, funniest and most colourful photo is a digital camera. Let's meet the judges. We have famous photographer Marco Marconi. We also have magazine editor Lucy Sanders. And finally, art critic Ruth Powell. We received 500 entries to the competition. Was it hard to judge?
Oh yes, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Well, you've chosen the 3 best photos. Can we see them? Can you tell us which photo you think is the happiest, funniest and most colourful?
I like them all, but I think number 3 is more attractive than numbers 1 and 2.
Personally, I prefer number 1. I think it's more interesting than 2 and 3. But the funniest photo is number 2.
I agree. 1 and 3 aren't as funny as number 2. And number 2 is happier than the others.
Yes, I agree that 2 is the happiest photo, but 3 is more beautiful than 1 and 2.
True, but maybe photos 2 and 3 aren't interesting enough. I don't want to be too critical, but, well, number 1 is the cleverest photo. And this is a photo competition.
You're right. The most interesting photo is number 1.
Yes, I agree. The best photo is number 1.
We have a winner! Thank you, judges. The name of the winner is Peter Rogers from Bristol. Well done, Peter. Next week, join us for our new competition to choose the greatest band in the world.
Hello again. In today's lesson, we will look at ways of comparing things using comparative and superlative adjectives. We will also look at how to use to and enough with adjectives. Here is a reminder of how you form comparative and superlative adjectives. With short adjectives, add er and est. So, long, longer, the longest. Big, bigger, the biggest. And funny, funnier, the funniest. With long adjectives, you use more and the most. So, interesting, more interesting, and the most interesting. And don't forget the irregular forms for good, bad, and far. Good, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Far, further, the furthest. Here are some examples of comparative structures from the art programme.
Can you tell us which photo you think is the happiest, funniest and most colourful?
I think number 3 is more attractive than numbers 1 and 2. Number 2 is happier than the others. Notice that, as well as positive comparisons, you can make negative comparisons with not as and as. In this case, 1 and 3 aren't as funny as number 2 is a negative comparison. It means the same as number 2 is funnier than 1 and 3. Now let's have a look at some examples of superlative structures. The prize for the happiest, funniest and most colourful photo. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. The best photo is number 1. Finally, you can use to and enough when there is a problem with something. So, it's important to remember that there are several different ways of comparing things. Well, that's all for today. Thank you and see you again soon.